की रिटन एग्जाम में बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय है इंग्लिश, which has weightage of 200 marks out of 600 marks of GAT. It has 50 questions of 4 marks each. उसमें से एक महत्वपूर्ण क्वेश्चन है स्पॉटिंग ऑफ एरर। इस प्रश्न का कारण ये है कि ये समझने में मदद करता है कि कैंडिडेट को अपनी इंग्लिश की ग्रामर कितनी अच्छी आती है, क्या वो बिना व्याकरण की गलतियों के इंग्लिश अच्छा लिख सकता है। ये देखने के लिए इस क्वेश्चन को बनाया गया है। इस क्वेश्चन में एक कोई वाक्य दिया जाएगा जिसे 3 हिस्सों में काटा जाएगा, अल्फा, ब्रावो, चार्ली और डेल्टा। डेल्टा में होगा नो एरर। यदि कैंडिडेट को लगता है कि उस वाक्य में कोई भी देयर इज नो एरर इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सेंटेंस, द कैंडिडेट will write no error. Of course not right, will mark no error as the correct answer. If a candidate identifies or spots an error in any of the 3 parts, alpha, bravo, charlie, that will be marked as the answer. What all does it see? It sees part of speech, tenses, confusing words, numbers, genders, degrees, determiners, articles, non-finites and usage of tenses. The pattern, as I told you, is A, B, C. The sentence would be broken in 3 parts, A, B, C, with one of them having an error, or there may be sentences where there would be no error. यदि कैंडिडेट को लगता है कि उस वाक्य में कोई गलती नहीं है, तो उसके लिए चौथा ऑप्शन होता है डी, जो होता है नो एरर। इस पूरे जो स्पॉटिंग ऑफ एरर है उसको हम 8 हिस्सों में देखेंगे। नाउ with one of them having an error, or there may be sentences where there would be no error. एक भी गलती उसमें नहीं होगी। यदि कैंडिडेट को लगता है कि उस वाक्य में कोई गलती नहीं है, तो उसके लिए चौथा ऑप्शन होता है डी, जो होता है नो एरर। इस पूरे जो स्पॉटिंग ऑफ एरर है उसको हम 8 हिस्सों में देखेंगे। नाउन, प्रोनाउन, वर्ब, adjective, articles, adverb, conjunction and preposition। इन 8 हिस्सों में हम इनको इस विषय को काटेंगे और इसको समझेंगे, ताकि जब हम इस प्रश्न को सॉल्व करेंगे तो हमें पता चलेगा कि कहां पर क्या गलती है और उसको किस तरह से पकड़ना है। तो जैसा कि मैंने बताया, द फर्स्ट पार्ट इज गोइंग टू बी नाउन। नाउन से हम क्या समझते हैं? तो हम सबका एक नाम है, दैट इज नाउन। लेकिन नाउन, द फर्स्ट इज कॉमन नाउन। कॉमन नाउन मीन्स अ नाउन गिवन टू अ पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप ऑफ थिंग्स और say persons. It is called noun. A very simple example of common noun is a boy, girl, table, books. All these are common name or common noun. These are given to a group, a particular group which has similarities is identified and given a common noun, like the examples that I gave you. Then proper noun: Sachin, Rahul, Smriti, Shefali. All these are proper noun. किसी व्यक्ति को दिया हुआ उसका नाम, that is a proper noun. Then comes material noun: leather, steel, iron, wood, water. All these things are material. So the nouns given to them are material noun. Then we have collective noun. Collective noun is where the things are made of more than one person. Simple example: army, police, parliament, mob. These all will always be plural. We can't have one man army, one man police. It is a grouping of people. Parliament, mob, all these are grouping of people. So as these are grouping, they are called collective noun. Then there are abstract noun. Abstract nouns are basically those things which we cannot count as 1, 2, 3, 4, or which are those which we cannot show. They can be of feeling. Feelings like happiness, anger, agony, ecstasy. They can be of state, tiredness or sadness. ठीक है? और it can be of quality, strength, pitch, innocence. All these are qualities. These are abstract. That is why they are called as abstract noun. Then there are certainly rules for all these nouns and how to use them, which words go with which nouns, कहाँ पर किसको यूज होगा, कहाँ पर किसका यूज नहीं होगा। यदि कलेक्टिव नाउन है तो क्या उसके साथ इज होगा या आर होगा। इन सबके अपने अपने नियम बने हुए हैं, उसी नियमों के आधार पर प्रयोग किया जाता है। इफ an error has been done in the use of words which are supposed to be used with these nouns, that is where the error lies and that is where we have to spot it. Now there are something known as cases: nominative case, objective case and possessive case. Nominative case, a very simple thing. Sachin Tendulkar scored a century, in which Sachin Tendulkar is the subject and he is in nominative case. If we say a century was scored by Sachin Tendulkar, now the subject has got into nominative case. Sachin Tendulkar has gone into nominative case. We can even call it as active or passive. Active is Sachin Tendulkar scored a century, in which Sachin Tendulkar is in nominative case. He is the subject and he is the one who has scored the century. While in nominative case, even the thing remains the same. But how do we say it? We say that a century was scored by Sachin Tendulkar. So we have put the subject into or the object into nominative case, objective case. Then the person who has actually done it is, like in this case, Sachin Tendulkar. He has gone into objective case. And the third type of cases is possessive: mine, his, hers, theirs, which shows possession of a particular thing by a person. This is my house, this is his school, this is her college. So what is this word showing us? It is showing possession. This is their house or their field. So the possession of that field is with them. Now whoever those them are, this is just an example. So it is showing possession कि किसकी उस पर किसका है वो, ये घर मेरा है, my house. उसमें क्या है? That my is a possessive case. That is what is mine, his, her, theirs. All these would come in. And then of course there are certain confusing nouns where the words sound similar but they have different meaning. The meaning of them is different. The words are similar sounding, like custom and customs. Just an example. Custom क्या होता है? तो custom होता है tradition, रीति रिवाज. और customs department क्या होता है? It is a department that checks that whatever is being imported into your country is done by after paying due taxes. That is what is customs department. While custom is traditions, riti rivaj. So the difference between the two words is just of one s, but the meaning changes. So you may come across a question where such thing is also done. Advice, advise, CE and AC. Just change of one letter, but the meaning changes. So these are also part of questions of spotting an error in noun. What is a pronoun? I will give you example. Ramesh is in class 8. Ramesh is the tallest boy in his class. Ramesh works very hard and scores well in his exam. Ramesh is also very obedient boy. Now what is happening? Every sentence I have to repeat Ramesh. But that is not how we speak. What do we say? Ramesh is in class 8. He is the tallest boy in his class. He works hard and scores well on his exam. Right? So this is how we speak. Just to avoid repetition of the proper noun again and again, or of noun, not only proper, of noun. We replace it with another word and that word is called as pronoun. Now we will see the types of pronouns. First of course are the personal. I, you, he, they, all these. And of course they are in nominative case, objective case and possessive case, and singular and plural. Like the example of first person, singular is I, plural is we. First person, objective case, singular is me, plural is us, and so on and so forth. Then there are certain pronouns which are reflexive pronouns. That is myself, yourself, himself, herself. जिस जहां पर self लगता है उसके साथ वो होता है reflexive pronoun. उसके बाद demonstrative pronoun. Demonstrative is what? किसी चीज को दर्शाना. The very word demonstrative means दर्शक, जो किसी चीज को दिखाता है. That book, this place, all these are what? These are demonstrative, because when you say that book, you are showing or you are indicating to a particular book. किसी एक विशिष्ट पुस्तक के बारे में, विषय में आप बात कर रहे हैं. So that is how it becomes demonstrative. This book, that place, etc. And then come indefinite, like one, everyone, each one, either or, neither nor. इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि हम किसी एक व्यक्ति के, विशिष्ट व्यक्ति के विषय में नहीं बोल रहे. जैसे कि everyone must love one's country. Everyone must love one's country. सबके बारे में बोल रहे हैं. So that is how it becomes indefinitive, because it is not speaking about one particular definite person. It is indefinite. Then as relative. Relative like who, whom, all this, where it shows the relation between two things or two persons. That is relative pronoun. All that glitters is not gold. And the last type is interrogative. What is interrogation? Interrogation is to ask questions, to gain info, to elicit info. Information कहीं जब हम लेते हैं किसी से, उसे क्या कहते हैं? Interrogation. We all must have come across the word saying police interrogation. Where police are investigating a case, it is also known as interrogation, where a person is asked questions and through the answers information is taken out. So that is what is interrogative pronoun. What are the examples? What, which, when, where, how. All this is interrogative, where we are seeking information. Those all are interrogative pronouns. Now we come to the next part, that is verb. Verb is that part of the sentence that shows or signifies an action. Sentence में क्या हो रहा है? What is the thing that is being done is shown by verb. Now we come to the types of verbs. Main verb. Main verb is that verb which relates to the main action of a sentence. For example, she played the piano. What is the action in this sentence? Piano बजाने की जो कृति या जो action हुआ है, वो action किस शब्द ने हमें दिखाया? Played ने दिखाया. She played the piano. वाक्य में होने वाला जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण एक्शन है, वो जो शब्द दिखाता है, वो है verb. That is the main verb. Now main verb is also divided into transitive and intransitive. Transitive is the one which takes direct object. We will take the same example. She played the piano. Now in this, played is the verb and the piano is the object. She is the subject. So she played the piano means played is the verb that has taken direct object after it, and that is why it is transitive. Intransitive में क्या होता है? वहां पे कोई ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं होता. There is no object after the verb. For example, he smiled. In this particular sentence, we do not require an object. He smiled at her. Yes, the same word smiled now in this case becomes transitive verb, because it has, what has happened now in the second example? He smiled at her. So at her becomes the direct object here. But if we just say that he smiled, then there is no object that is taken by the verb. So it becomes intransitive verb. Auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are to be, to have, to do, shall, will. All these are auxiliary verbs. And modal primary auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs. Modal auxiliary verbs are those which denote the mood or mode of the subject. For example, can, could, might, need. All these are verbs which are showing the mood or mode of the subject. And now of course verb is the one that decides the tense of the sentence. Now as we all know, there are three primary tenses: future, present and past. Then they are further subdivided and we have total of 12 tenses. Each of these three is further divided into simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. That is, example is simple present, continuous present, perfect present perfect and present perfect continuous. Similarly, we have these four for the other two, that is past and future also, and all these have their own rules as to how and when these are to be used. Our aim is to be able to know these rules, understand them well, and if an error has been purposefully made in that sentence which has been given to you as question, we should be able to spot that error. Another interesting thing of verb is gerun. Gerun is that word or that verb which ends in ing. However, it is used as noun and not as. I'll give you an example. When I saw him, he was running. Let's concentrate on just the later part of the sentence. He was running. In this, what is running? Running is past continuous verb. It is verb run ending in ing. Running. In this particular sentence, he was running. Running is a verb. Running is a healthy habit. Now, what has running become in this subject? In this sentence? In this sentence, it has become noun. So, this is an example of gerund, where verb ending in ing becomes a noun and is not used as verb. This is important to know from point of view of parts of sentence. You may be asked, there are questions where a word is underlined and you have to identify as to what role it is playing in the sentence. Parts of sentence, whether it is a verb, whether it is a noun, whether it is a pronoun, within that, whether it is a common noun, proper noun, etc. In that, generally you would get at least one question about gerund, where you have to identify that this particular verb, though is a verb ending in ing, in that particular subject, it doesn't work as verb, but it works as noun. In the example that I gave you, I saw him smoking, in which smoking is a verb. Smoking is a bad habit. In this sentence, this smoking becomes a noun. The word smoking, which otherwise is a verb, is used as noun in this particular subject. So it becomes gerund. Now we move to next part, that is adjective. What is an adjective? Adjective is a word that gives us additional information about noun or pronoun. Now again we have certain types of objective. Proper objectives, like our country is India, we all are Indians. So Indian is a adjective. China, Chinese. England, English. These are all. Next are possessive adjectives. My, our, mine, his, hers. All these are possessive adjectives. Then adjectives of quality. वो कोई भी adjective जो किसी गुण विशेष को दिखाता हो, जैसे कि the flowers are plucked fresh. So the subject in this particular sentence is flower. And how are they? They are fresh. तो fresh ने क्या किया? हमें उन फूलों के बारे में additional information दिया. So that is how it is verb, and it is verb of a quality. Fresh है. Or the flowers were very aromatic. The flowers had good aroma. They were aromatic. So aromatic is a word that is giving us more information about the flower. So that is how it is verb, and verb of what? Verb of quality. He is very strong. So it is a verb of quality. Quality is strength over here. His strength is shown over there. Adjective of number. First, 10th, 5th, last. All these are adjectives of number, which are showing the number of that particular noun or say subject. In that we also have indefinite. Indefinite numerical adjectives. The examples that I gave you, first, third, fifth, 10th, last, all these are definite. Third means third. It cannot be fourth, it cannot be second. But there are certain indefinite numerical adjectives like few, many, less, more, where it is not giving you a particular number. कोई number नहीं है इसमें. But they are still adjectives of numerical quantity. That is how they are adjectives of number. Adjectives of quantity. Some, more, little. Now in that we have something very interesting about little, a little and a little. Little means almost zero. कुछ भी नहीं है. There is little sugar in that pot. और बॉल, यदि उस कटोरे में बिल्कुल चीनी नहीं है तो हम क्या बोलेंगे, देयर इज लिटिल शुगर इन द बॉल, विच मीन्स देयर इज ऑलमोस्ट नो शुगर, ऑलमोस्ट जीरो। अगर उसमें चीनी है पर कम है तो हम बोलेंगे देयर इज अ लिटिल शुगर इन दी बॉल, जिसका अर्थ यह है कि कम है शुगर लेकिन है उसमें, थोड़ी ही सही पर शुगर है, चीनी है। लिटिल जब हम बोलेंगे उसका अर्थ होता है कि बिल्कुल ही जीरो के करीब है, न के बराबर। अ लिटिल मीन्स न के बराबर से ज्यादा है लेकिन वो बॉल पूरा नहीं भरा या बॉल के कैपेसिटी के हिसाब से कम है, दैट इज अ लिटिल। एंड द लिटिल वुड मीन the little sugar that was there in the ball has also been used in making tea, जिसका अर्थ है कि उस कटोरे में जो थोड़ी बहुत चीनी बची थी वो लाई जा चुकी है। The little sugar that was there in the ball has already been utilized in making tea. So this is what is pertaining to little. The same applies to few, a few and a few, any and some. Any says when we are speaking it in the negative sense, we say any. I will not buy anything from your shop. उसमें हम क्या कह रहे हैं कि मैं आपकी दुकान से कुछ नहीं खरीदूंगा. So any is used for negative in negative sense, while some is used to show positive sense. I will buy something from your shop. यानी मैं आपकी दुकान से कुछ ना कुछ खरीदूंगा. तो क्या है, सम से हम पॉजिटिव इंटेंट दिखा रहे हैं. आई विल नॉट बाय एनीथिंग फ्रॉम योर शॉप, आई विल बाय समथिंग फ्रॉम योर शॉप. दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू. देन ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव एक्सक्लेमेटरी एडजेक्टिव. व्हाट एन आइडिया, वाओ, व्हाट अ मैच इट वाज. And they all are always followed by an exclamation mark. Exclamatory adjectives are always followed by an exclamation mark. That's a big giveaway. You find an adjective which is followed by exclamatory mark, blindly you can identify it as exclamatory adjective. What an idea, what a match it was. These all are exclamatory adjectives. Interrogative, as we just discussed, interrogation means to seek info. What is your age? What is the time right now? Where are you going? When will you come back? All these are questions, and so all these adjectives are interrogative adjectives. Similarly, demonstrative adjective, this boy, that girl, which are specifying a particular person or a thing. These are all called demonstrative adjectives. Then of course we have comparison of adjectives: positive, comparative and superlative. High, higher, highest. They have their own separate rules when to use the, when to use, when not to use it, when to use superlative, when to use comparative. They have their own rules. Comparative is generally when we are comparing between two. He is taller than her, or Ramesh is taller than Suresh. Ramesh is tallest in his class, or Ramesh is taller than any other boy in his class. तो इस सब के अपने अपने नियम बने हुए. Rules are different for superlative and comparative. And when can we use comparative? When can we use superlative? All these have their own separate rules, which we need to know and identify. After adjectives, there are articles. Articles are basically of two types: indefinite and definite. Indefinite are a and an. These are used with singular nouns: a boy, a girl, an umbrella. A and an. A is used when it is vowel, and an is used when it is, sorry, a is used when it is consonant, and an is used when it is vowel. A, E, I, O, U. We use an. However, it is not by the spelling, but it is by pronunciation. So university is correct because we pronounce it as university, as if the word is starting with Y, though the spelling starts with U. University and not an university. Definite article is the. In definite we do not have two of them, like unlike indefinite where we have a and an. A for consonant and for vowel. However, the remains common for both. It has nothing to do with consonant or vowel. The comes with definite wherever the noun is definite. For example, a book is kept on the table. Here it is not a specific reference, but the book which I spoke about yesterday is kept on the table. That is where we are using the. Why? Because now it is one specific book. The book that I spoke about yesterday. So it is one book. But when you say a book is kept on table, it can be any book. That is the difference in a and the, indefinite and definite. Definite of course is used for all celestial bodies, all natural objectives and all that. Again, there are number of rules for use or not using of the article. When to use it, when not to use it, when to use indefinite, when to use definite. They have their own rules. Now we come to the next part, that is adverb. What is an adverb? As we saw, adjective is a word which gives additional information about the subject. Adverb gives additional information about either verb, adjective or other adverb. He is running very fast. Now fast is already an adjective, but very is adding further more information to it. So very becomes adverb. The word very has given additional information about the adjective. What was the adjective? Fast. Fast is a adjective of manner. How was he running? He was running fast. Now we further added information to it by saying very fast. So very is the adverb. Let us see the kinds of adverb now. Time. I will meet you tomorrow. Yesterday I completed my task. Next year I will complete my graduation. All this is time. These all are adverbs of time. They are telling us additional information about time. Of place. I will meet you in the market. I stay at Pune. These all are adverbs which are telling us about the place where an activity is taking place or is going to take place or had taken place. So these are adverbs of place. Then manner. The example that I gave you. He is running fast. Running is the verb. About that what is told? Fast. So that is adverb. Or very fast. That becomes adverb of manner. He is running fast. He is sitting quietly. To sit. He is sitting is the action, and how is he doing it? What is the manner of doing it? Quietly. So that becomes adverb. Adverb of frequency. If something is happening again and again, when is it happening? The word that tells us information about that is called adverb of frequency. The newspaper is published daily. So daily is the adverb of frequency. हर रोज आने वाला अखबार, every day or daily. The train is weekly. If there is a train that runs once a week, we say the train is a weekly train. So weekly again is adverb of frequency. And then adverb of degree or quantity, enough or something, little doubt. So anything that is talking about, any adverb that is telling us about quantity is called adverb of degree or quantity. Now again there are various rules for use of adverbs. When to use adverb, when not to use, how to use it. All these have specific rules, and these rules are checked in this particular type of question. The knowledge of candidate about use of these rules. Now we come to the next part, that is conjunction. Conjunctions are those which are used to join two sentences. The words which are used to join two sentences are called conjunction. For example, scarcely, hardly, no sooner, as soon as, seldom or never, seldom if ever, etc. All these which are used for connecting two sentences are known as conjunctions. Again, different conjunctions have different types of rules which we have to understand. And last part is the prepositions. Prepositions are the words which give relations between the various words in the sentence. For example, the book is on the table. So on is the preposition which has shown that the book is on the table. These are the prepositions. Just few examples are in, at, on, upon. All these words are prepositions. Again, these have various types of rules. Under, down, underneath. When do we use down and when do we use under? All these are laid down rules. Knowledge of these rules is important to be correct. All these rules are required to be known by the candidates while appearing for the exam, so that they can solve this part of question paper well. This not only will help you in this particular type of exam, this type of exam, but it will always help you as it would improve your English and it will help in any sphere of life that where you go, where English takes importance. With this, I conclude this